The man of purpose needs alignment. This practice, write, declare, sit, is not optional. It is essential. Your altar is the throne room of your future. Every morning you approach it, you place another brick in the mansion of your legacy. And if you ever feel resistance, remember, resistance is proof you are near something holy. The mind rebels against submission only when it fears transformation. And so you push through. Rituals shape identity. Your habits are not small, they are holy. When you declare your definite chief aim aloud, when you write the man you are becoming, when you bow in silence to receive direction, you are not just reinforcing belief, you are reconstructing the scaffolding of your soul. You are turning chaos into clarity, fear into function, and distraction into dominion. Now listen closely. Do not delay. Set the place now. Choose your hour now. Prepare your journal, your pen, your mirror, your words, and return every single day, even if tired, especially when tired. That is when it counts, because you are not training for convenience. You are training for command. Let these affirmations become the pillars of your altar. I return to my mission daily. My habits are holy. They shape my soul. Each morning is my covenant with greatness. I am never too tired to meet with the man I was born to become. My altar is the birthplace of my future. Now rise. Clear the space. Begin tomorrow with fire. And do not let a single day pass where you forget who you are and what you've been sent here to build. No man climbs alone. No man fulfills divine purpose in isolation. And no man becomes who God intended him to be while surrounded by voices that do not recognize his call. If you look around and find yourself surrounded by drifters, men without aim, without direction, without fire, then it is no wonder your flame feels faint. The company you keep is the echo chamber of your destiny. The men you dine with, dream with, rise and rest beside, they either sharpen your edge or dull your spirit. There is no neutral influence. Every conversation is either constructing your vision or corroding it. Understand this. The mastermind is not a social club. It is a covenant. It is not about shared interest. It is about shared intensity. The mastermind is a spiritual law. It is the alignment of two or more minds in perfect harmony, each committed to the highest outcome of the other. It is sacred, not because of the people, but because of the purpose. When I studied Andrew Carnegie, what struck me was not only his drive, but his circle. And among those in his closest confidence was Charles M. Schwab, a man younger, less proven, but ablaze with conviction. Carnegie did not surround himself with those who stroked his ego. He chose men who confronted mediocrity, who refused to let him coast, who demanded he reach higher. Schwab was more than an employee. He was a mastermind partner. They did not speak of mere profits. They spoke of progress, of expansion, of legacy. And this principle does not only belong in the boardroom. It must govern your home. Let me speak plainly. If you desire to walk in your full God-given purpose, the person you join your life to in marriage will either bless that purpose or become its greatest resistance. A man may be brilliant, disciplined, convicted, but if the voice he hears each night is one of doubt, discouragement, or distraction, his steps will grow slower until he forgets he was even running. Marriage, my friend, is the most intimate mastermind. It is a covenant of vision, not convenience. If you are not yet married, do not be wooed by charm or temporary excitement. Ask this: does this person multiply my conviction? Do they challenge my lower self? Do they honor my divine assignment? Because when the fire is tested, and it will be tested, it is not beauty or banter that will sustain you. It is belief, shared belief. And if you are already married, understand this: you can begin again. You can rebuild your union into a mastermind through transparency, intention, and declaration. Begin with your friends. Audit your circle. Who is adding wood to your fire? And who is throwing water on it? Who listens to your vision and challenges you to double it? And who tells you to be realistic? These are not small matters. These are the architects of your atmosphere. And your atmosphere determines your acceleration. You must now become intentional. Form your mastermind. Choose men who are not impressed with you, but who expect more from you. Share your definite chief aim with them. Invite critique, not comfort. Meet weekly. Speak purpose. Pray purpose. Demand action. And in return, offer the same. The spiritual covenant of the mastermind says this: I am not here to be liked. I am here to help you remember who you are. That is the highest friendship. That is holy brotherhood. Now hear me well. If you cannot yet find men of fire, become the fire. Begin the group. Speak your vision out loud. Ask for divine appointment. Men of destiny attract others of destiny. And heaven responds to those who dare initiate. Let your family become the forge. Speak identity into your children. Don't just tell your wife she is beautiful. Tell her she is a vessel of purpose. Build your home on vision. Write the mission. Hang it on the wall. Declare your household a house of intention. You are not just building a career, you are building a cathedral of legacy. Let these affirmations anchor your new standard. I walk with men who sharpen me. My relationships are covenant, not convenience. The fire in me is fed by those who believe in my call. I lead my home with purpose, not with passivity. I attract men of destiny because I walk in destiny. The mastermind is sacred. It is heaven's tool for men who dare not walk alone. Build yours. Lead yours. Become the voice that sharpens others, and allow yourself to be sharpened in return. The tongue is the pen of your soul. It is by speech that men shape nations, and it is by speech that they sabotage themselves. For the tongue is not neutral. It either builds or breaks, blesses or buries, elevates or erodes. The man who speaks casually speaks carelessly, and the man who speaks carelessly lives powerlessly. Let me tell you now, life and death are in the power of the tongue, not metaphorically, but spiritually, mentally, materially. Every sentence you allow to pass your lips is either sowing destiny or digging a grave for it. A man of purpose cannot afford to be reckless in his speech. His words are bricks. His statements are scaffolding. What he builds with his mouth, he will eventually walk into. You may not have been told this, but every time you say, I'm tired, I'm broke, I'm not sure, you are not describing a condition. You are declaring an identity. And the subconscious mind, that obedient, impressionable servant, takes those declarations not as commentary, but as command. It does not know sarcasm. It does not know doubt. It only knows repetition. And what you repeat, especially with emotion, it engraves into your system and builds into your behavior. Understand this deeply. You are already practicing autosuggestion, but most men do so with negligence. They suggest defeat, fear, limitation, over and over, until those very suggestions become reflex. I'm trying. I hope. We'll see. These are not small phrases. They are spiritual seeds, and they reap hesitation, anxiety, and drift. It was Andrew Carnegie who demanded that negativity be expelled from the rooms in which he discussed business. He did not tolerate weak speech, not because he feared bad news, but because he understood that spoken doubt multiplies like a virus. A man may think doubt and kill it quickly, but if he speaks it, it enters the ears of others, and now the infection spreads. Your speech must be curated like sacred scripture. It must be rehearsed, refined, and repeated. Speak as if your words are chiseling stone, because they are. Speak as if angels are recording every declaration, because in the unseen realm that is not far from truth. Let me make it practical. You must begin to train your tongue like you would train a wild horse. It is powerful, but it must be governed. Begin each day not with reaction, but declaration. Stand alone if you must, and say aloud who you are becoming. I am the type of man who builds with faith. I speak what God has said about me. I do not confess fear. I confess future. Now some will say this is vanity, that you are speaking what you do not yet see. But they misunderstand faith. Faith does not wait for evidence. It declares what is not yet visible, and in that declaration draws it into being. Your present may not match your statement, but your repetition will force it to comply. Let me give you an exercise. Begin every conversation, every plan, every reflection with a directional phrase. That means instead of saying, I'm struggling with this, say, I'm overcoming this. Instead of saying, I hope I can, say, I'm building it daily. Speak your future as if it already bows to you. Because if you do not speak with authority, you will live under the authority of lesser men who do. And in your private moments, be especially vigilant. What you whisper when no one is around becomes the loudest command to your subconscious. Many speak with courage publicly, but rehearse fear in solitude. That must end now. Your private declarations must exceed the boldness of your public ones. That is how kings are made. Now let us install new affirmations, not for your ego, but for your programming. Every word I speak builds the future I live. I speak only what God has said about me. I do not use words to describe, I use them to design. I am the architect of destiny, and my tongue is the tool. My voice is loyal to my vision. Speak these aloud, daily, morning, and night. Let your family hear them. Let your circle be trained by them. Because your words do not just affect you. They create the environment in which your purpose will grow or die. Remember, the man who controls his speech controls his world. And the man who speaks in line with heaven will find that all of heaven moves to support his word. Fear seldom shouts. It does not come dressed in armor, demanding your surrender. No, fear is far more cunning than that. It whispers, it reasons, it arrives clothed in politeness. It uses words like reasonable, prudent, measured. It disguises itself in the language of intellect and logic, so that when you obey it, you don't feel like a coward. You feel like a thinker. But hear me now. Fear is not logic. Fear is betrayal. It is betrayal of your purpose, your potential, your divine assignment. It delays with soft hands and kills with slow poison. It convinces a man to put down his sword, not because the battle isn't worth it, but because the timing isn't right.